To go along with what I was saying, with what I was mentioning in the last video, we're having inharmonious relationships because we don't know how to relate to each other, especially sexually. And we feel that we have to go outside by whatever means to get that particular satisfaction. Okay? So put plainly is this. Once again, I have to reiterate universal law. When there's a so-called requirement or request or so-called need sent out into the universe for whatever circumstances that allowed that particular need or requirement or whatever to manifest, its opposite will manifest. Okay? We have to realize that the reason why prostitution, porn, all of this stuff exists because we demand it, we require it. And until we begin to have harmonious relationships, start raising our progeny right, truly nurturing them, and healing ourselves, we're just going to continue to go downward and downward and downward. And the so-called slave masters of the day will remain in control. Now back to this so-called hard fucking type stuff. You see now in a lot of your TV shows, it's all this hard banging, animal fucking, monkey fucking type stuff. Because, you know, and we have to realize too that these images are going straight into people's subconscious mind, whether they realize it or not. The subconscious mind is not a joker. It doesn't have humor. It takes it straight in. If you laugh and be like, I'm stupid, it's going to record that, and it's going to allow you to create your reality based upon that. So if you're feeling that the only type of woman that you can be harmonious with is a porn star or a whore, and not your wife or your spouse or your significant other, this is why we're going to continue to have a lot of relationships that contain and end with adultery. Okay? Now, being that I know it's not going to stop some of you from doing the things you do, especially if you are seeking the services of prostitutes, escorts, or whatever, I'll give you this little advice. Save your money and get a escort rather than a prostitute. Because at least with certain escort services, if you ask and request the information, they can let you know whether their escorts have been tested for certain diseases. With a streetwalker, you don't know. You can be dealing with someone who's been injected with a so-called virus that's to kill humanity by some secret governmental project. You never know. And I wouldn't be surprised if what I just said was true, because 75% of the time when I speak, I'm speaking directly from the higher mind, spirit. And I know a lot of things that I say, 5-10 minutes later, I'll see like, oh, that did happen. Okay? Or it's happening now. All right? So, another thing too, we're going to always do what serves us. So if you're going to strip clubs, any of this, don't just go just to go. Know why you're going. Know what it is that you're really seeking or asking for when you do this. And that particular thing that you're asking for, then take it within self. Well, what can I do to better myself? And I'm saying this in relation to this. To attract the so-called average individual, whether man or woman, who really just don't give a damn about life, all they love is money and Jesus and an occasional fuck, that's easy to attract them because a lot of people manifest and live according to that vibration. However, if you wish to seek that reflection of yourself, get yourself together first. Have that marriage within yourself. And I'm not saying do what some of these people have done extremely, go buy you a ring and say, oh, I'm married to myself. That's got to be the craziest stuff I've ever seen. You know, what I mean by marrying yourself, get in tune with you. Know what serves you. Know what makes you happy. Marriage may not serve you. And I know, for example, I select to be in a harmonious, monogamous relationship long term, that if it manifests that way. However, I don't agree in marriage to what today's installment of marriage is, because there's really a contract between you and your spouse and the state. And if you should break up, then the state intervenes and decides who gets what. I'm not trying to let nobody have that type of power. And I mean trying, meaning like have little or no effort. I'm really not gonna give them that type of power over me. However, here's some of the tips that you can use to get more in tune to yourself. Learn meditation. Take up meditation. If you don't know about it, seek someone's services. There's a lot of sources here on YouTube. I'm also available myself, especially here in the Atlanta, Georgia area, to instruct and meditations to allow you to learn self, to embrace your intuition, to embrace those so-called powers that they say we used to have a long time ago when the so-called gods, us, that mindset left. Okay. Other things you can learn, just do a search on sexual techniques, how to please a person. Okay. Learn those, and then also throughout all of this, take in all this information and decide for self what and who is the type of individual that I am acquiring, requiring, and seeking to attract to myself. Now, here's the thing. When you do it on this level, the person that you will meet can be right under your nose, or it might take a while. Patience is a virtue, and that's one thing I've learned in these metaphysical sciences. Patience comes into it at some point, and it can be a bummer, a real, what some people say, it can be a real motherfucker, so to speak. So, also, just study people. Recollect all your experiences with the opposite sex or same sex if that's what you're into, and look at the things that you liked and the things you don't like. Don't do it from an emotional standpoint, especially if you feel that the person quote unquote hurt you. Look at qualities. That's what we're really seeking. Seek qualities. Don't seek what a person can give you. Just because a person got a really, really big dick or a really big pussy doesn't, or a tight pussy doesn't necessarily mean they're the best for you. That's physical. In the long run, why the hell am I going to stick around with a person for over 5 years and it's just for sex? You know how many people out there you can go have sex with just to have sex if that's what you chose? No. Have a higher purpose as to why you are in union or in a relationship with a specific person. Okay. Another tip, allow yourself to get more healthy. A healthy body creates a higher mind. And I'm not necessarily saying go out there and attempt to make yourself look like some of these anorexic looking ass people that are on Hollywood Access and all that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about doing something that allows yourself to feel great about you. Work towards a goal. You know, I have seen that when you exercise and work out on a consistent basis, it helps you to deal with stress a hell of a lot better than someone who just chooses to hold it in and let it burst all out at once. Okay? And do whatever you can to allow yourself to be a better person. We're creating demons in the form of hoes, prostitutes, harlots. Our children are taking on our sins. Do better, people. Hotel.